I'm your host Rob. Today we'll be reading My Life is Like 51st Date, except it's not funny, it's really scary. Ask me anything. I suffered a brain injury in 2014 and it's left me with sensitivity to noise, migraines, traumatic epileptic seizures, and anti-regrade amnesia. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to this channel. How did you get the brain injury? Are there any hidden positives that come with your brain resetting? I guess the only positive is if I'm having a bad day, as long as I'm not bother writing it down, that I don't remember it the next day. Other than that, no, it's all negatives. No one's really sure because I was on my own, but the general guess is I was waiting for my ex-fiance to pick me up from the hospital. I got up to get my knee sorted after dislocating my kneecap earlier in the night. I put it back in wrong. I was waiting out in front of the A&E, having a ciggy, and I passed out and hit my head on a metal pole. Do you ever have days when you wake up and don't just accept it? It looks like I've had a few, but there hasn't been any notes to that effect in my diaries for a couple years now. So I'm not sure whether I've just stopped writing it down if I don't accept it, or if something in my brain is working really hard to tell me subconsciously that it is real, and why I would lie to myself about something as crap as this situation. That's all I can think of anyway. I don't know. We say we love each other, and I was texting him earlier. I was feeling happy about it. So I guess that's something, but it's hard because I don't really know him. All I have to go on is what I got in my diaries, and he seems like a brilliant partner, and I must see something in him because otherwise I would have finished it. But in fairness, I never really have done feelings anyways. I've always been a bit disconnected from everyone, so it's nothing new for me having to deal with the ex. Hey, forever honeymoon phase. Yes, XX. Oh, he tears out the page when they break up. I feel bad saying that as a joke, but there is a certain concern of manipulation. There is, but it really comes down to trust. I have to trust that he wouldn't do that, just like I trust that my ex didn't remove any pages. Unfortunately, there's no fail-safe, so that I can use to guarantee that nothing will happen to my diaries, so that's all I have. Check out rip pages, and maybe number the pages and initial next to the number, something like that. You ever think about making video diaries to yourself? It would be easy to rip a page out and not even notice, because my diaries are all spiral bound. To be honest, I'd rather go on trust, purely because while I'm like this, if I can't trust my loved ones, then I can't trust anything. And if that happens, I would probably shut myself away and stop all interactions. No, because I don't often watch DVDs, whereas I read a lot. Plus, because all diaries are underneath my glasses. They're the first thing I see in the morning, whereas there's no guarantee I'd watch a DVD or video, even if I wrote a note myself to do so. Plus, with mornings like this, you could carry on reading while my son was eating his breakfast and getting ready for school. I wouldn't be able to carry on watching the videos or DVDs while he's getting ready. I'm unsure if this is a silly question, but here goes. Have there been any particular memories that somehow overcome the condition? If so, how do you process those memories when you have many missing pieces of the puzzle? It looks like I have a handful of times where I've remembered something from the previous day or week, but the memory hasn't stuck around. So when I slept again, it's gone and I don't remember remembering it. Hope that makes sense. Can't think of how else to word it. This is one of the most interesting Ask Me Anything I've read here. I'm sorry this happened to you, but you seem like quite a strong and resourceful person. And I'll second the other person who mentioned Memento. The main character deals with the issue by being extremely organized. Speaking of organization, do you ever edit your diary? Like maybe make a 1 or 2 page summary that shows the most important events from the past 5 years, plus your current situation. Your current partner is. Number 2, do you use some list of tasks so you can remind yourself to do something that you can't do immediately? And 3, what's your tone of diary? Very matter of fact, today I had another visit to the doctor. Or do you talk to your future self more empathetically? Don't be scared, you're doing this for several years. Just read this and you'll be ready for the day. Yeah, I have a few pages that are dedicated to specific things rather than general stuff. For example, I have a section on my fella, his full name, date of birth, address, phone number, likes, dislikes, how and when we met, his family, some stuff from his childhood, job he's done. Another section is about stuff to do with my son, his teacher, where his classroom is, who his friends are, what he's good at, what things he's into, toys, movies, etc. Mom has a section because she had a knee replacement a couple weeks ago. That's got things in how she's doing each day, what exercise she's meant to be doing and how often, and when she has any follow-up appointments, and what if any questions we need to ask her. I'm her main carer because I live with her. Any sections I get updated with whatever new information is relevant, and old stuff is crossed out. There's a calendar in the kitchen that has any future appointments on it. It also has if I need to make appointments, if anything is going on at school, when the litter tray was last changed, when my son is at his dad's, stuff like that. It's a bit of both, 90% matter of facts and straightforward, but there are entries about how I'm terrified that this is my life, I'm going to be stuck like this forever. Everyone would be better off without me, real self-pitying crap like that. But there's not much of it, and it's gotten rare in the last couple of years because I made the decision not to write down the bad days, unless it's a really bad day. So that way I don't feel quite as bad when I'm reading it through. Do you have opinions on politics in your country? What do you think about Donald Trump being the president of the United States? I think politicians are as bad as each other, but I've always thought about that. Other than that, I'm not really interested in politics. Never have been. Yeah, I saw that on a site earlier. That I think it was on a satire site, and then realized it was true. I do think it's pretty insane, because he's an absolute wombo. Thick as crap, and I'm pretty sure he's mentally retarded. Not sure how the hell he managed to get elected, or why he was even considered a serious option in the first place. Are you in a relationship? If so, how's it affected? I am. I met my partner in October 2016. It's scary waking up next to him, not knowing who he is or where I am, or if I'm staying at his. And apparently we have pictures of us together around his room, so I can see that I have some connection to him, and he's not just some random stranger. It's even more disconcerting because I expect to wake up next to my ex in our old house. So waking up next to a man I don't recognize, don't know, is difficult. We seem to be doing well. It's been 2.5 years. He's patient with me. We explain things repeatedly. Make sure I write stuff down in my diary, and that's important. Do you feel it's impossible to ever fall in love with your partner, since you'll ever really know him for one day at a time? How will you remember this post tomorrow? I won't remember it, but I'll know I posted because I'll look through my post history, same as I did today, because it looks like I've been on Reddit for a few months. I made the decision not to write down the bad days unless it's a really bad day, so I don't feel quite as bad when I'm reading it through. Do you make that decision and write it down in the diary? Or can you remember that sort of thing? Do you think you would downplay some negative stuff, overstate some positive stuff, to give yourself a nice read in the future? I wish, lol, no, it's written in my diary. Possibly, I'm sure I've had some really bad days and not written them down about them, so I don't have to read that stuff. Don't think I overplay the good stuff. I've always been quite straight, logical, and matter of fact. It doesn't seem quite logical to make something sound better than it was, because if I speak to someone about it and it turns out it wasn't as great as I wrote, then I'm going to wonder how much else I wrote that I can't trust. I think factual is better and easier. What's your biggest fear surrounding this? What is something you hate learning every day other than the injury? That I wake up tomorrow, it's actually been 10 years and my son has changed that much that I don't recognize him. That I've missed out on everything, especially things that I've done with my son. I can read about what I've done and see pictures on Facebook, but without memories attached to it, it doesn't feel real. What are you going to do when your diary gets so thick that you can't possibly read it out every day? It took me over 4 hours to read them fully today. Honestly, I'm just hoping my brain fixes itself before it gets to that point. My biggest fear is I'll wake up tomorrow and that's actually 10 years later, and my son has changed so much that I don't recognize him. The thought of that happening and the amnesia lasting that long really scares me. You have my utmost empathy. I can't imagine being in your situation. Given all your medical issues, what is your long-term outlook on life? How long of a life are you expected to have? Have you considered something like assisted suicide? My life expectancy is normal, but a lot of my physical problems are degenerative, so I'm only going to get worse as time goes on. Youth and age is something I've been strongly in favor for years. If animals are in pain and suffering, we put them out of the misery. So why is it considered okay to make people carry on when they were in pain and want to end their life? I believe everyone should be able to choose for themselves if they want to die with dignity and not have to travel to another country and be apart from their family and friends when the time comes. If what they want, obviously some people want to do them themselves. If I wasn't such a coward, I would have killed myself a long time ago, but I'm too chicken to do it. I'm not saying you should kill yourself. In fact, I hope you don't. There may be still hope, but you're absolutely right. Nobody should be forced to suffer. Thank you for doing this small Ask Me Anything. It's one of the most interesting I've seen in the sub. I wish you well and hope you're able to recover at least somewhat. What is the day in your life? Are you a student? Do you have hobbies? No, not a student. I'm a 32-year-old mom. Dad used to be a pub manager, but lost his job when I had the brain injury and haven't been able to get a new job since. I'll use today as an example. I woke up at 5 a.m. when my alarm went off. Freaked out when I saw my mom's house. Not at home. Put my glasses on. Vestibule, they were on top of my notes saying read me. Started reading. Found out why I'm at mom's. Been living there for 3 years now. Catch up on what's been happening for the last 5 years. Find the unlock code for my new phone. Look through the Facebook at some pictures and videos. Have to finish reading. Look through Facebook later. Need to sort out my son for school. He's now 8. He turned 4 2 weeks ago before the head injury. Get him breakfast. He eats. Gets himself dressed. I take him to school. Luckily, I know where the school is from before the brain injury. No idea where the classroom is, but he always says he goes to the reception because I can't walk all the way around his classroom. I have physical disabilities that I've had for years, not connected to the brain injury, but have gotten worse since then. Say goodbye, and I'll see him on Sunday because he's at his dad's this weekend. Go home, nap on a sofa for an hour because I'm still exhausted. Must have slept funny because I've woken up and can't move my neck or spine without a lightning bolt of pain starting at the base of my spine, going all the way down to my lower back. Take fentanyl nasal spray. Got another patch. Mom passed me everything. Spent some more time reading the rest of diaries and looking through Facebook and other apps on my phone, which is also new to me. I have an old style Nokia. I can only do texting and calling. Now I have a smartphone. I don't like it. Currently still stuck on sofa, wondering if I'm going to go sleep on it tonight. The only hobby I've had to stop is MMA and kickboxing. The other hobbies I can still do because it's just reading and Sudoku. So if you have a text conversation, you can always keep reading back and keep a steady discourse going on over a couple of days. Shall we keep this Ask Me Anything alive? Then we can have a collective diary? That would be pretty cool. Yes, I have text conversations on my phone going back to when I first got it. I have message conversations on Facebook going back years, even before the accident. And there's a couple sites that I'm on where I've started talking to new people and have the conversations going all the way back to when we first started talking. I don't know if it's possible for you to answer this, but here goes anyway. Do you reset 100% back to the person you were in 2014? Or do you think you feel that your subconscious can somehow store information that influences what you do and feel? Like for example, let's say you meet someone and you end up feeling some strong emotion for them. Either really hating them because you fought with them over something, or really liking them. When you reset, it will be like you've never met them, or does your subconscious give you a bad feeling or impression of them? I think I'm still the same as I was in 2014, personality wise. So I don't think I really changed that much. I'm still the same sarcastic, foul-mouthed delight that I was before. I've met people, I don't have a clue who they are. It's frightening. When I have met people talk to me that clearly know me, but I don't know them because I don't know what our previous interactions have been. Did we go on, or did I hate them? Did I say something that I shouldn't have, or was a blind conversation? I can't write everything that happens every single minute of the day in my diary, so I imagine a lot of it would be guesswork and going along with whatever they're saying, which makes me vulnerable. But I only go out if I'm with someone I know, so at least I have someone with me that I can trust to have my best interests in mind.